This is Kara Camo with Book Sisters Productions, and I am interviewing Veranette March, and she's going to be playing in the Sadie McAllister Files as Carol Greene. Well, why don't you introduce yourself, what you do, and a little bit about your character?
So I'm Veranette, and I right now I work in healthcare. I work per diem, which gives me time to be able to take on these projects and go for casting calls and things like that. For Carol, what I love about it is that she's so into the metaphysical and spiritual, and you'll see that as the episodes go and you watch it, and almost has that Sherlock Holmes feel, which I love.
Mhm.
And the episodes all build up to a storyline, and it keeps you really engaged. And I just love the way she's free spirited and things like that, and trying to get her friend to look at a different perspective. You have some people that are just all logical and
Mhm.
things like that. And even though her friend's going through a loss and things, it's like, well, just look at it this way. Like, there's just open up a perspective and we'll get answers and things can happen. And it's weird how the dynamics work with friendships. Not everybody's the same way and things like that. But it's just, I feel like she's just wanting her to feel better.
Mhm.
And as Carol, it's just like, well, I'll get you there. Like, just trust me, it's going to happen. Like, just open your mind. Like, I want you to be happy again. I want you to see that there can be a resolve, even if it's not the way that you think it should work. But, you know, without giving too much away, I feel that's how it works.
Totally get that. So I know that you have done other film projects in the past. You have quite a huge resume on IMDb that I saw. I was really impressed with that.
Mhm.
How does this character as Carol compare to the other roles you've done?
Well, it's funny when I really started to get bigger projects, paid projects, and things like that. It wasn't until later on. At the beginning, I used to live in New Jersey, so I used to do all these runs to New York. I had an agent. A lot of it was background work, and nothing against background work, because at least you get to know how it works on a set, how things are, blah blah blah. You're there for hours. You sit in a holding cell. It's like, but at least you get to see things. And me being me, I wouldn't just sit there and just be like, oh my god, a celebrity's on set. I'm just like, what? I start talking to the PAs, all the background, like making friends with everybody, because they let you know the more connections you make, the better.
Mhm.
And it was just cool. You have to respect the lighting guy as you would the lead person on a set. Because you'll see these same people. Um, Even though there's a lot of people that want to get into the film industry and things like that as actors and stuff. It's a small community in itself, believe it or not. Like, even some of the films that I've done, I've worked with a lot of the same people. Um, but once I got older and I moved, a lot, I I couldn't pursue it more than I wanted to, because I didn't have a thick skin at the time. Um, Especially then, everything's like, you're too fat, you're this, or a lot of cattle calls. You show up, you prep for everything, you just go in, it's like, nope, you just didn't have the look that they wanted, or whatever. It's a lot to take in. I just wasn't prepared at that time. Once I got older and I'm like, I still love doing this, I'm going to do it the way I want, I started to get a lot of mom roles.
Ah.
So that's what really put me into that dynamic, is because I fit a mother role. Because the one part about me, though, is because I'm always changing my look.
Mhm.
Now I can't even fit the mom. Like, I dye my hair, then I don't fit the mom look,
Mm.
according to who's ever casting. But That's how I got back into it, whether it was commercials and things like that, was playing a mom role or whatever. But, I still start putting stuff out there. I still fit a look. My whole thing is like, I'm willing to dye my hair a different color. I'm willing to do this and do, like I'm very flexible, but it's almost like they want it like how they want it, like you have to fit that look right now. And I'm like, well, I'll make it work, like very flexible, but that's just how it is. But I always put things where I know at least acting wise, I could pull off, right. I wouldn't submit to something where, if you're an actor, you should be able to play anything, but you just know there is a certain range. Like I wouldn't play a 60-year-old lady, but there's things to work around.
Right. So how do you relate to this character of Carol?
So like I said, the best part about it is that I'm big into the spirituality thing, and I'm a free spirit, very open-minded. I just always feel like, come on, like always up and like for the most part on the positive side of things. Not to say you don't get angry and things, but it's almost just like you want everyone to feel good, and right. And her friend's going through something, and it's just like, the one part about Carol too is like that I could also relate to is that, if someone's dealing with a situation, you're trying to help them get over it, but you still have to respect if right. They just can't work in your timeline. And that's another thing that I think Carol had to learn along the way too. It's not going to, you could show someone something, or you could be like this, or you could, but you still have to respect that they're not always going to see everything the way that you do.
Right. Now, what is your ideal role?
Believe it or not, so there's two. One was, again, it would be like a thriller or a spiritual film, anything ghost related, but I would actually want to play the ghost.
Oh.
Because I like, just for like on a dancing sense and stuff, like I could contort my body and like it'd be like really cool to be like the one haunting, like you play the spirit that's scaring everybody else, right? The other one on a totally different spectrum is I love comedy. One thing I've never had a chance to be a part of is any comedy skits. Growing up, I loved Saturday Night Live, Mad TV. I used to, like, even when I'm just hanging out with my friends, you're just making jokes and stuff like that. Like, I would love to do a comedy. It feels good to make other people laugh, and then you're laughing. It's just a good time. I feel like it would be a great time on set, joking around, trying to keep a straight face while you're doing something ridiculous. So I would love to do anything comedy.
Nice. So my last question for you is, what advice would you give to aspiring actors?
So the first thing is, believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, why would anybody else want to work with you, right? If you don't think you can do it, why should they think you could do it? Don't get discouraged, especially in this kind of industry. It's not like they don't have to follow the rules of like, they have to give you an interview. They have to, it's just different. You could literally wait all day, show up, and then be like, nah, you don't even get to audition. That's it. Right. That's how it works. And the other thing too, which it just happened recently, I went on an audition for a part, and then they're like, I see you as someone else. I still try to fight for the original role because I didn't see myself as the other. Not to say that I'm not flexible or like what. I really wanted this other part. Right. I've already was I saw myself as this character. Don't, if you're willing to compromise, that's fine, but don't just do it to get a part. I remember I don't know, when I first started out, they're like, oh, we could give you this role. You'll be the drunk girl that pees herself. And then I'm like, I don't want the Tara Reid character. Like, I'm more than that. And nothing against Tara Reid, but I didn't want to be typecasted for something and then have my one little bit and be done. I felt like I had a lot more to give than just being like this. Yeah, I would be on screen getting this spot, but I felt I had more to give than that. So just don't compromise on anything. You know, if you want it, then get it. I used to have people say to me, they're like, if you really want something, you'll do whatever it takes. I really don't believe that. I mean, that's your point of view on something. Right. I feel like if you really want something and it falls within how you think you should get it, then that's how you'll get the role. You know, don't work on what other people think. It's how it works, you know?
Yeah.
So don't settle for less. Just keep at it. You won't get that one, you'll get another one, you know? And they might keep you in mind for some future projects, even if you didn't get that part. So
that's really good advice. I really like that. Well, I appreciate you spending the time and taking time to talk to me. And
thank you so much.
Yeah, we're looking forward to working with you on the Sadie McAllister Files project.
Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait to get on set.